Okay, let's see who's in here. First time that we're doing this like this, and just making sure that this all works. Um, so getting this good. So let's see if people are here. So we can answer, so we can start doing this.
The pets are here.
Oh,
Also bring in
hi.
hi. So I am just trying to make sure people are here, can see the live. Okay. And let's see where we see the chat. And everyone that's chatting to us. This is our first. If anyone sees, new comments will display here.
Okay.
So if somebody messages us, we should be able to see in our live chat. Hopefully that all works.
I made fireworks.
You made fireworks happen.
And I'm not seeing our live chat coming up.
Let's see if I can do it again.
Because I see greetings through the Facebook page.
Just to die. Okay.
So
please submit your questions.
Cat.
Here we are.
So that is not showing our comments that people are entering. It is doing the Facebook Live. Oh.
Okay.
Let me try something. I just want to make sure everyone sees the stream. Paste and go.
Well, if we need to just...
We can always switch over. Or we can look at the other thing. Nope, that's not it. Well, if somebody can monitor the platform on Facebook, we can
I'll do it.
For questions right now. I will see if I can give a more direct one, so people can ask questions and we can actually see the link. So send us a message. Actually see. So if we can start introducing ourselves, others I guess will join along the way, and we can go from there. Hopefully I can get a direct link so we can get comments up. into the video live feed. But oh,
Okay.
okay. So I'm David Sugar, World Cup 2023. I guess others will introduce themselves. I will bring in somebody else here too.
Yay.
And I'm working with support so we can hopefully get comments in.
Okay.
So who else wants to go while I try to get that?
Sure. I can go next. I am Pepzio. I am World Pet 2021. We'll be monitoring the chat. So if anyone has any questions, please submit them. And happy to be on the call with my fellow family members. Let me pass it over to James.
Hey, James Butterfield. I am World Cub 2021. Welcome, everybody. Let's hear from Highfish.
Sorry, my dog is losing her mind in the background. I am Highfish, she, her pronouns, and I am World Pet 2023. And then Heath.
Hi, everybody. I'm Candy Bear, World Bear 2023, pronouns he, him. Hello. How is everybody's summer, quasi-summer going? What is it, just like pre-summer? Is that what it's called?
It's so hot.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of sticky. It's sticky up here in New Hampshire, too. It's kind of weird weather.
Gross.
Right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to just mention before we get going too far, we have a QR code up on the screen that you will see. That QR code is a direct link to the application for this year. Also, applications are due on June 15th, if anyone is wondering. So just about 15 days left. And then at the bottom, you'll see links to the World Bear Instagram page and also links to the you would also see links to the to our Facebook page. And so if somebody else could take that one question about, there's some questions starting to come in. I think I figured out the way to make the stream work even better.
I can take this one because during my year for Bear and Cub, we did have title wear as a category. And that one, what I interpret that as is just what represents your title. If that makes any sense. Just wearing something that really represents the title and really makes you look like a title holder. So exactly kind of what you've stated there, just what would you wear as a title holder? Yes. That's kind of what it is. It's just something that represents the title. Any other ones? Anyone else want to chime in?
I'll say, and on my from my side of it, we had petware at the time. However, I had essentially presented in what I would consider title wear as well. So having what I felt comfortable in, that could be, in many contests that could be, maybe you feel comfortable with more a formal leather, or maybe more comfortable with a t-shirt and jeans, or for the pets, maybe if you have a hood or anything that makes you feel comfortable and confident in what you want to do. For myself, I had a leather vest, I had a nice pair of jeans, I had a t-shirt, and I had my hood by my side. So it is really up to your interpretation on what that is. So I feel that the answer is specific yet vague, because it will depend on what you feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yeah,
Buddha.
I kind of dressed in sort of like a button-down shirt that was kind of clubby looking, and my bear kilt, and I wore my previous title vest, and that was my title wear. So if that helps, hopefully.
So, who would, I guess, next question is, who would like to just talk about the contest some? I mean, Candy Bear, Pie Fish, anyone?
Sure, I can take some of that.
Yeah.
I think this year's going to be really exciting. We have, and Highfish, you'll have to help me out too. Like, it flipped back and forth a couple times, but 4 different categories this year. We have World Bear, we have Miss World Bear, right? Did I get that right? Pet, and are we doing Cub still, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Correct.
Sometimes it changes, it happens that way. So it's really exciting, and it's gender nonconforming, and you come as who you are and what you feel like you want to run as. I think that's pretty exciting. And be ready to come and have fun, and be your unique self, and come with what you have. You just talked about like title wear and things like that. You don't have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on something for your title wear. If you have something that makes you feel really good and that you feel like you go out and represent your title in, grab it out of your closet and do it. I'm all for like thrifting and recycling and just putting things together, because the trip alone can be a little bit expensive. And so do whatever makes you feel comfortable, because then when you're on stage and you're doing all the different categories, you'll just be that much more comfortable to, be out there in swimwear and title wear, and being up there doing your speech. You're in something that's familiar to you. And then I would say probably a week before, if you wanted to compete, get plenty of rest, drink plenty of fluid.
Hydrate.
Because because you're going to be going every single second of the day, and it's going to fly by. But it will be probably one of the best experiences that you have. If you haven't already run for a title, I don't know. I just think I've ran for a couple of titles, but World Bear was a lot more exciting and a lot more energetic, and just you're representing the world. You're representing all across all countries, all everywhere, and it's just being judged by your peers and judged by your peers across the world. So it's just really a special time, and the family that you create from those and the friendships that you create is truly amazing. So go into this contest, make sure you get those applications done. Don't be late.
Yes.
because you won't be in the contest. We'll put it right out there, right?
June 15th.
And don't be late for anything. Get yourself a great alarm clock. You know, these smartphones are good for
Brilliant.
you. I had
Mhm.
5 set, and I named them interviews, ticket sales, and you just so it's also a reminder for you.
Right.
And have, if you can, have a support system. Have someone there for you, and if you don't, seek out like one of us. If we can help you as much as we can.
Mhm.
If some of us are not judging or we have other duties, we're there to kind of help you with that support and to
Mhm.
help you say, you know what, you need to take a deep breath, and we've got you, and you've got this. So I think the most important through a title and through a contest is self-care. That's the one thing that you
Okay.
can do, and that way you'll have that energy when you're on stage. Trust me, um, because there's nothing like going on stage, trying to party all night and trying to do everything that you can, and then trying to perform like a fantasy scene
Mhm.
right back to back with your theme, you know, uh,
Yeah.
theme as well, right? That's tough, and your
Mhm.
body's going to take a toll. So, um, give yourself some
Yeah.
time and just be ready and be prepared.
Mhm. Yeah. I'll just chime in because I want to. I know the year I competed, I attended exactly one class that weekend, and that's all I did. And it was Chris's yoga class on Saturday because I felt the need to relax. And
Yeah,
every other time was like, oh, I have an hour and a half until I have to go do this. Well, nope, I'm just gonna relax. I'm just gonna stay and center on that. So I spent the whole weekend preparing for this contest and really did one thing. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. I truly loved that weekend. I still have fond memories from it.
So we have some other questions.
We
I
have some
will
questions.
another yeah. So another question we had come in from, I will say, Trevor Marsh here. He is basically in the leather community.
Hmm.
And he says, how did we get involved? And this call, I will say, while we want to give those interested in competing a chance to learn some. I think it's also important that those that might just be getting into the community one way or another have an idea of how do I eventually make it here. And you know, to get involved is really just go out. I mean, I would say go out, show up, meet people, learn,
Yeah.
um, get involved in different things.
Hmm. I agree with that. Totally.
I
Yeah,
do
just
too.
get out there.
Yeah, I'll agree with that too, because a bear coming from the Northeast, where there's not much that happens around here, to be honest, northern New England, so New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, there's not much. And so the only way for me to get involved was for somebody to invite me and to say, hey, you should go to this event, even if you just go and observe for the first time and just see what it's like. I think that you'll leave there with a whole set of a new chosen family after you leave. And so
Yeah.
for me, immersing myself in the bear community was the first. I think it was James and oh my gosh. AJ,
What was it?
sorry. I'm like, wait, who is he? It was the first time I ever. Sorry, AJ. I'm so sorry. It was the first time like I was like enthralled, and I was like, this is so cool. This is a great set of people, And I would say, don't be afraid to go up and strike a conversation with somebody. And that's
Oh,
just
please
how
don't.
it begins. Please don't. Don't be intimidated by
Right.
a title holder or a past title holder. We won because we have that ability to speak with people and to be a leader of people. And don't let our stoles, our crowns, our vests, or whatever, don't let that intimidate you. We're people too, and
Yeah.
we've been through it, and we know. So please don't hesitate to come up and talk to us.
Right.
and
Totally
I
agree.
think and I think that even, you know, whether that is, and I would encourage, and I'm not throwing anyone from the family under the bus, but I would encourage you before the event to reach out to title holders individually and say, if you're running for, because I'm biased, for World Pet, you know, reach out to me and ask me, hey, you know, if you have specific
That's
questions,
right.
because we, of course, we're not going to get to everything on the call tonight. But if there are specific things that you want to know, while the contest has evolved since 2021, a lot of the same mechanics are still there. So
Yeah.
please, you reach out to people, ask questions. That will help you to be more comfortable. And one of the things I did want to say, we had a question from Marcus Fisher, something that I wish I had more time to prep before the big event. I would say for me, it's I knew many people in circles who ran for titles. The sheer amount of energy it takes to have throughout the weekend, because essentially as soon as you step on property, you are on. People will be watching you, whether they're actual judges judging the contest. Those judges will also hear people talking. So essentially, as soon as you step on the property, you have your raffle basket, you set that down, and the area, you are on, and you are not off until the results of the contest.
Right.
And even then, whether you win or lose, people are still going to be watching you the entire weekend. So it is a large, not large. It takes a lot of energy all weekend, because you do have to be on. It is you're by the end of it, you may be crawling. So I would say prepping. I think for me, prepping to have the energy and to take the time that's needed when you can in between the scheduled events, to be able to relax and regroup and kind of go through the next gauntlet.
Yeah.
Right. I know I judged a contest back in October, I think, sometime this past year, where somebody did not win. And we were, after the contest was over, we were hanging out in the bar, and someone was very good at reading lips across the room. And to our faces, this person was very like, I thank you for your time. Thanks for your feedback. Everything was great. And then reading lips told a different story. So what Zio said, you are on the entire time. Game face the entire way up until the time you leave. So it's something to consider when you're going for a title. Just be prepared for that mental drain, because it, like Candy Bear said, self-care. Mentally, it's draining to do that, to be on 24/7 for an entire weekend. It really pulls at you. So have that support system, have your methods in place that's going to help alleviate that when you're in private.
Schedule your downtime.
Ooh, yeah.
And downtime as in go to your room and don't do anything.
Yes.
And face plant. And if you do have a support system you're bringing with you, make sure that like one of those individuals you trust to be your accountability buddy.
Yeah.
In terms of like, if I'm not, if I'm still on and if I'm not taking time for myself, but I said I was going to take this 1 hour in between A and B to go and decompress, then have a person that is comfortable saying like, you need to go do the thing right now. Because sometimes it feels, you get like an endorphin rush and you feel like you can keep pushing. But in the end, you end up burning yourself out. You don't want that to happen night 1 or night 2, because this is a contest that does last several nights. It's not over in one day. You have to sell raffle tickets multiple nights.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're resting during the day and you're scheduling that rest that way that when you have to sell raffle tickets for the 3rd night in a row, you are ready to be talking to people still because you had your downtime. You had your introvert moment. You know, I scheduled time to go to the pool when nobody else was there and just like hung out in the water. That feels great. You know, it's good for your joints.
Yeah.
Sun is good for you, I guess, they say.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say there was a funny story of I'm a fan of just like getting in the pool and just like floating like right out to my nose. And somebody like I was just all alone at one point, and somebody was like, wow, don't you want to like network and make sure that you are like talking to people and things like that? I said, you know, right now this is
now.
my time. This is for me, and it's not. I'm not trying to be like a jerk or anything like that. But I need some like a couple minutes to myself to reflect and get in my game head. And they were like, totally respect that and totally understand that. So if you have to be by yourself or with your buddy, like Highfish said, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
So can I guess right now have a question. If you're in here and planning to even compete this year, you know, make yourself known. We do have 4 different titles for those that aren't aware. There is World Bear, and that is a gender not, you know, gender
Neutral
title. There's World Cup, gender neutral. There is Miss World Bear, but you do not. It is still gender neutral as far as who can compete. And then there is World Pet, which is also gender neutral.
Yeah. Titles are open to anyone.
Yep.
It's great.
So
we had another question in the chat from you're curious about having a title holder who is stepping down in your fantasy or scene that are expected to perform. I've seen it all over the place. I personally don't see an issue with it. To me, it reads as you're really good at networking. Like you have people within the community that you're comfortable with. And I think that, I mean, the only conflict of interest ethically in my mind is if you have a judge in your scene, which I don't know how they would do that. That would be really impressive if they had a body double in order to judge and be in a fantasy. I like honestly I wouldn't be mad because I'd be so impressed. So yeah.
Yeah. I think, you know, it's possible. It's possible to do. I would challenge you, though, to expand your network. I think look outside of the obvious. And that's my challenge.
Sorry, was that like loud? My little evil.
A little bit. A little bit.
Oh, he's in choking range.
Are there other questions?
I'm in so much trouble, y'all. You don't even. Anywho, do we have another question?
We don't at the moment, but we have two people who Jonathan Daniels, if you know who that is, and Luna Bones are both competing. Jonathan is competing for Pet, and Luna is running for Ms.
Yay!
Wow.
So
I've
great.
definitely never heard of either of those people in my life.
No, I have no
I haven't
idea who
either.
these people are.
No, I don't know who that person is.
No, not at all. I'd like to circle back, if we could, to Trevor's question about how did we get involved? Because I think round robin, going around the room and just finding out how we all did get involved.
I do have one more comment. I was having a thought
Okay.
about the thing you would like to prep for more.
Yeah.
Whatever grandiose props you may or may not want to craft, schedule more time than you think you will need to make them. Because
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm a prop galley. I love a good craft, but it always goes wrong, and then you get flustered, and then it's like, oh no, I'm not going to have this like dildo covered in googly eyes in time for the event, and you have to go out and get a different type of glue that'll stick on the dildo.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then your self-care time is like
yes.
because then you're covered in hot glue and
and
you
googly eyes and
googly
yeah,
eyes. Yeah, it's just
mood.
Yeah.
and the
And
dildo
to
sits
tag-
alone on the windowsill. You know, that's just
Exactly.
yeah.
To tag on to that, practice with your props.
Yeah.
Practice multiple times. Practice a lot. And that goes for your speech too. Practice your speech. Record your speech. Time your speech.
Yes.
Make sure you don't go over time.
Yeah.
And account for the crowd reaction. Those are my words of advice. Take from it what you will. But you've got a certain amount of time limit for these things.
Yeah.
And you don't want to
we've
go
seen a
over.
lot go over. Yeah.
I would say plan to not be perfect, because things will happen. Even within the contest, there may be misfires. We'll say there may be things. Some other issue may happen, and it's not even directly related to the contest, and there may be a need to stall, and so that kind of throws you off the game. So be comfortable in what you're presenting. I'm thinking specifically with the speeches, but again, as everyone said, timing is key. If you go over, you will lose points.
Yes.
Mhm.
And that could be enough. That could be enough to make or break.
Right.
So that is one thing that everyone needs to realize. Try to control the easy stuff, being on time, being present, doing what is asked of you, reading what is required of you on the and the kind of the rules and regulations, showing up for everything you need to show up for. If you don't show up, you're going to lose points.
Yes.
Good advice. If you're on time, you're late. For everything. Every category, everything, even ticket sales. If you're showing up on time, you're late. Be early for everything.
For contestants, while the event starts on a Thursday, I suggest plan to get there Wednesday. If your plane is delayed, something happens to your car, whatever, you don't want to stress that you're going to be late. So come in a day early, take that day to relax. And then when you're into it, that Thursday afternoon, evening, when you start things, then you really will be in the best frame of mind instead of having to rush to get to your
Yeah.
first meeting.
I will honestly say that I did not do that. And I
It's
drove.
not always financially accessible for
No.
people to be able to do that. You know, you might not
Yeah.
have the PTO, you might not have the money to be able to take a flight that's a day earlier. So if you do have that luxury, then go for it. But I definitely understand that that's not always something that's possible for
Right.
people.
Plan early though. I had a 5.5 hour drive to Memphis. I left at like 7 a.m. to get there. And I think I crossed the time zone even. So I made sure I was on time. But yes, plan for everything. Be early. Don't lose points because you're late. Because that just kills everything.
On
Also-
things that do hiccup, don't let it like completely take you out. I feel like
Oh,
the
yeah.
biggest thing is the pop question, because it's the first thing that we do on stage. Sometimes you get a dud.
Uh-huh.
Like sometimes they just don't jive with what you want to say and how you want to present yourself. But you know, do your best and don't let that knock you down because you may shine in other categories.
Mhm.
Don't let one little slip up completely destroy your performance elsewhere. I know it's
Yeah.
easier than said than done to get out of your head, but like, believe me, a lot of being in the right headspace can help you in your performance outside of this.
So
Hmm.
there's this question from Jonathan. When judging, when you see a contestant on stage, is there something specific that each of you look for? Well,
Hmm.
it depends on the category, number one.
Yeah.
If you come out wearing just a job during the formal portion, then
I'm gonna question that.
It's whatever you feel comfortable in, though.
yeah,
Although in 2019, World Cup 2019-2020
Mhm.
did do formal wear and a jock because
It was a tuxedo.
he's a member of GNI.
Yeah.
okay. I did not.
So
I did not
that
think
was a
about that.
thing.
Yeah, but you know, in general, going to be looking for what fits the category and what is you.
Mhm.
Don't try to be somebody that you're not.
Yes. Oh God, be authentic.
If you try to impress the judges and be somebody that you're not, then they will see right through you.
It'll never
Also,
work.
be 100%. Be when it comes down to interview, be honest with yourself. There might be something you're not comfortable mentioning. Maybe if you mention that part, that would be a make or break in the judging.
Right.
I mean, I know that I was judging somebody during Bears, Vipers, and Mayhem, and I prompted them. I didn't tell them to say anything that they didn't want to say, but what I did was I gave them the opportunity to authentically be themselves, and I think that made a difference in the judging and where they ended up.
I was doing contestant prep for someone for iPoll, and throughout the question, failure can be our greatest teacher. What have you failed at, and how did you learn from it? And that took that contestant way back on his heels. And he dove deep and gave an answer that none of us were prepared for, and was so brutally honest that it was brilliant. So honesty, absolutely. Be key. That's the key. Just be yourself. Present your true self. Don't try to hide anything. Don't try to fake anything because it's not going to work. Oh, and if
I-
anybody gets where I got failure can be the greatest teacher from, you win points with me. I'll see
Also,
if anybody gets it.
also something very important to remember: the competition, while you are being judged, is supposed to be fun. And so, you know, when you're going competing, let's say there's other people in your category that are competing. Don't look at it as competing against each other. You're competing with them.
Yeah.
You know, make friends with them. You know, you for everyone that's competing, you've already won a title. Look at this as an opportunity. You know, you may or may not make it to, you may or may not win, but in the end, everyone's a winner. You come out with new friends, and new experience, all of that. So I would say, really look at it. Don't look at it as if you don't end up with the title that you've lost.
Yeah.
And Luna is saying title requirements aren't necessary for all World Bear titles. This year they are.
Sure they are.
Yes.
Yeah. And like David said, it's fun. It should be fun. You should be having a good time. There's a reason I've done this 4 times over, because it's fun. I enjoy it. I think it's a blast.
You're a masochist.
Possibly.
He's a star, baby. He's a star.
I've done this a few times, and it's fun. You should be having a good time. You should enjoy what you're doing. So, yes, and just go out there and have fun. And that is another big key to success, is just have fun.
I would say I look for 2 things. The ability to pivot when something goes wrong, because it will go wrong. My therapist, I love my therapist. She reads me for filth. She tells me that any large thing that goes on in your life, plan for 3 things to go wrong. That way, when only one thing happens, you're so excited and it's a great event. But when 3 things go wrong, that's your expectation. So, you know, you're not getting totally upset. But I like it when people are able to pivot and act in the moment, because that's going to happen a lot as a title holder. You're going to be caught off guard. And the second thing is related to that, which is I look for people that are okay with being uncomfortable. I think that it's really important for us to know and realize that being uncomfortable doesn't mean that we're unsafe, especially in an alternative lifestyle community, and embracing each other's personalities as wide of a range as they hold means sometimes that we have to sit in our discomfort, but that's how we grow as humans. So that's personally what I look for when I judge people. So.
For me, one of them is the ability to be, much like Highfish said, being adaptable, being pliable. For example, during my year, we were kind of, while a lot, the 3 of us traveled pretty much to most events together. We were pulled in for jock auctions. We were pulled in for helping with this and helping in that and all this other stuff. And sometimes things didn't pan out how we wanted, and we would get pulled for ticket sales and pulled for this and that and the other. So that's something that you're going to have to deal with especially, you know, I think it was shortly after that I won, I was in Columbus, and there was a contest at a local bar, and one of the judges didn't show up, and they're like, "Oh, you're a title holder. You can judge. And I was standing, I was standing there talking to our World Bear Ms. World Bear 2019, 2020, and 2021, Nikki Wireman, and I was like, oh, I need to go apparently. So that is literally you get pulled to do those sort of. Again, you do have the option to say no, and to have boundaries, but part of the title is to being able to serve the community as well. That leads me into my next point, which would be, what are you going to do for the community? It is a wonderful thing to win a title. However, it's what you're going to be putting into the community. That's what people are going to look at. And how are you helping other people? So especially with speeches, it's great that you have personal goals, and I don't want to minimize those, but what are you going to do for the community? You're being put on a platform. You have, at least with this contest, you will be getting a cash prize. You will be getting a travel fund. Mind you, doesn't cover everything. but the thing is, what are you going to do, whether it is if you have the ability to travel, or maybe you don't, and you have to kind of maybe travel a little bit and do a lot of things virtually. What are you going to do? The third thing that I look for is actual engagement and wanting to be there. There are many people who I've seen who I feel have done it for the wrong reasons. They want the accolades. They want to be that person with the sash and the crown and all of that, and not put the effort into it. I want to see what you're going to do, and I want to make sure you're engaged.
Yeah.
Because if I'm judging you, I don't want to hand that responsibility and to be. I mean, from a business perspective as well, you are representing World Bear. You are an international title holder.
Mm-hmm.
You are, with some people, and I will say, with all of the titles being, you having to have that prior title experience, you need to be able to represent your title and your community appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
And we want someone who is engaged and not just there, cashing the money, cashing the check, and skating through. There's one thing to note with that as well. Should you win, there is a contract that you will need to sign as well. So you will have the chance to review that before, of course, you put pen to paper, but there are requirements should you win. So there is that.
So we have another question from Devon S. Lee.
Okay.
How do you handle when females are selling the raffle tickets?
Hi, it's me. I'm the non-cis male on the call. I would also say let's maybe move away from using females as a terminology when we're talking about contestants. But as someone who has chest tissue and was born assigned as a woman at birth, I feel like there are multiple ways to approach this. Mine was to lean into humor, because I feel like in a primarily cis male gay space, I recognize the fact that my sexuality makes people uncomfortable, and not everyone is ready to lean into that yet. So I put googly eyes on my tits.
I was there.
Another way is to just be like just
Love
treat
that.
people like people. I think that there are a lot of individuals who, you know, sell based on sex appeal, which is amazing. And I'm a very sex positive person, so I say go for it. As long as everyone's consenting, great. It all goes to charity. Do what's within your comfort zone. Be very clear about your boundaries, and don't be afraid to enforce them.
Mhm.
I think it is good practice for all contestants to ask before they touch someone. I think it is good practice
Oh,
for all participants in the contest to ask before they
absolutely.
touch you. And gently correcting someone,
Mhm.
and mind you, I say gently because, you know, we don't have to be mean when we correct someone, but saying like,
No.
hey, I would prefer you not to touch me in X spot because it makes me uncomfortable, or because you didn't ask, or you don't have to even give them a reason because no is a complete sentence.
Right.
Enforcing those boundaries is okay, and something that I don't think should ever lose points for, because
Mhm.
consent is mandatory. And yeah,
Yeah.
if you have a problem with that, you can come find me. I'm not a judge, and I will throw hands. Yeah, if someone has a
I
problem with that, please come find me.
yes, I agree. I
One,
remember when Sunny Haynes was running for North American Mama Bear. She sold me raffle tickets.
Mhm.
I bought a route to boot.
Mhm.
She's like, I'm gonna get up in there. It's like, okay, like that's okay. It's money is money, and that's the
Exactly.
experience, and that's it. So just treat
Or-
it like everyone else. That's the way it is. It's just
Yep.
money is money.
Yep. And
Get it
I'm
how
also
you can.
I'm a body neutral person, so like this is just my meat suit that like powers my electric pudding in my head. But I also like kind of turn the whole like hole to soul thing on its head. So I would be like, you know, like a mouth is technically a hole. Like, are you okay with me putting the tickets in your mouth?
That's a good idea because that's more tickets.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
For me, I'm going to comment on that.
Mhm.
If people are coming to this event and they know that it's a gender fluid event and they're not accepting you as selling a ticket, then maybe it's not the event for them. I'm going to put it right out there,
Mhm.
and definitely that consent is so sexy no matter who it is.
Mhm.
And we have to go into this event thinking that we're people, we're humans, and that's
Yeah.
how we should look at who's competing. There's a person on that stage competing, and they have a job to do. And if you're not comfortable with it, that you just need to say it, but we need to be kind. And that's going back to, I'm going to jump back to how I judge. Is I'm one of those judges that looks for you when you walk through that front door from day one, minute one, because
Oh yes.
I'm looking at you for humanity and how you are treating everyone that's around you when you walk in. Everyone from the hotel staff to the people that you bring with you. I am watching
Mhm.
you interact with all of those people.
Uh-huh.
And so if you're not interacting with those people well, then this is not the title for you, because you
Yeah.
need to be able to, on the spot, like AJ said and James said, you need to be ready to be there for people in our community. And
Mhm.
if that's not what you're ready for, then don't turn an application in. I'm going
Yeah.
to be the big bear right now and just be bluntly honest
Mhm.
with you all, because
Yeah.
I've met so many people of all all alphabet, whatever you want to, of all, throughout this last, gosh, it's almost going to be what, 7-8 months now. Hi fish. We're close to the we're close to the end. I'm so sad.
Yeah.
yeah,
But I've met so many different people across the country that you have to be ready for that. And it doesn't matter if you're cis male, cis female, non-binary, transgender. They're
Mhm.
people. Look at their face and know that that's a person that you're talking to. And so
Yeah.
it goes the same way with ticket sales. You know, Devon, I applaud you for that question because it's it's a hard question to ask in our community because we can be a little rough to each other, but it's really everyone needs to be prepared that we're changing and that this is a contest for people.
One thing I
I'd
want
like-
to jump in and say real quick is that, whether you're looking at competing for this title or any title, while there are some titles that are exceptions to the rule. The reason to run for a title typically is to elevate. You should already be doing work in the community. Use that title to help elevate the platform that you have. Don't do it the other way around to try to get any type of recognition with the title. Otherwise, why do you want if somebody says, why do you want this title? Be ready to answer. I mean, a title is supposed to help bring some more attention to work you're already doing, and not the other way around. So it's very, for those that have never competed for a title, think about what you do in the community. Think about what you have volunteered with. Think about what you have, just all the different things that you have done, and put together your resume before you go compete. The first competition I did, Maryland Leather, back in 2019, the one thing that they judged on before you even stepped foot inside the door and saw any of the judges was how much volunteering have you done? They looked at all the volunteering over like the past 3 years, and they scored on that.
Yeah. Something that Candy Bear said, I want to reinforce. It's great that you want to be on this platform and you want to be out there shining yourself on stage. It's great, but be careful of the people that you surround yourself with, your support system, because you may be a shining star, but if they are dragging you down and they are not up to that level and they are not being good people and good representatives of our community, then that's going to reflect on you. So choose your people wisely and make sure that they don't make you look bad.
So we have a question from Sam Marston. I know that this may not be a question that can be easily answered, but for those who are competing in a contest, is there any advice you can give to the partners of said contestants on how they can be helpful or supportive to their partner that is competing?
I think just doing that, yes, being supportive, being there, being that catch-all, that whatever you need, tell me and I'll be there and I'll do that. Whatever you need, let me know. We'll make that happen. That's your job there, is to support the person running. That's basically how I look at it, as just kind of like the catch-all, like if you need something, let me know. I'll get it.
For action items, I'm not an emotional support animal. I'm like a tactical support animal. So I like to have a fanny pack on me at all times. That's like a pharmacy. So have your partner's pain reliever of choice, whether that's an NSAID or Tylenol, maybe some BioFreeze. I had to turn my camera off so my husband could come in and put a lidocaine patch on me. Have liquid IV in that fanny pack, have snackies. So something like a dark chocolate or something else that'll give a quick blood sugar rise. Any medication that your person may take that they may need as needed. make sure that, they are taking their medication that they're supposed to take in the mornings and evenings, and or throughout the day. I mentioned earlier, but I don't think you were on the call yet, Sam, that it's really great for me personally to have like an accountability person that is able to remind me that I need to take some introvert time and decompress. So I know personally it is very hard to give myself permission to do things that are good for me, but it's much easier when my person or a friend of mine is like, hey, will you do this for me or will you do this with me? It kind of allows me to give myself that permission. So, those are things that really help me, whether it is helping my partner or my partners that have helped me in the past. I think, honestly, I agree with James too. Sometimes just sitting there and being that person that listens to their speech 100 times and gives honest feedback. And it does not lie. Ask your person who is competing what is the most helpful for them. What are their favorite snacks? What are their comfort things that you can bring with you? And, just get a rundown of like, I have like a user manual basically that I've written out for myself. So I hand my user manual over to my partner, who is then responsible for the handling of the complex robot that is me. So that's my advice.
I think everyone's going to be different. So it needs to be, while one partner will be on stage and figurative, literally for 3 days, if not for an entire year or longer or shorter, depending on how the contest falls. It's a conversation that needs to happen before even you put the application in. Because it is going to be a commitment for the team of you. And it will be, if I would say in most situations when partners are involved and supportive, it is a team effort to win, to be honest. I mean, to win and for the journey. And when the contestant wins, everyone wins. It is, I think that, this point has been made in the past as well, that while a lot of attention is on the contestants who win, it's also on the partners and spouses who support them and either travel with them as a partner or an aide, or, maybe they can't do that for whatever reason, and they're at home and kind of, tending to things at home as well. So it is very, very important to be able to recognize those partners, whether it is single partner or multiple partners who are part of that team.
I would say, just to reinforce that our year in 2021 to 22 was, we mentioned, or Zio mentioned, that we did travel together a lot. The three of us were there together a lot. There was a fourth member of our family, though, in that Zach's husband was usually with us. So we actually had a fourth member who was a partner, who was there to support. So I think it's very important that support is there.
Stash Wives for the win, Sam.
Yes.
So,
There was something else I wanted to talk about, and I forgot what it was.
My screen keeps slipping.
Forgetting what it was.
This is just another instance of like monogamy in this economy. Like having a chosen family does help so much in terms of being like, oh, I have, maybe one person that can't go to this event with me, but someone else in the fam can go. and we can split costs that way.
Mhm.
Or they can be my emotional support human when I'm there to judge and teach, and I've signed up to do too many things because I do that, and they remind me to eat still because it still happens
Yeah.
8 months out.
Oh yeah. Oh hell, I had to remind myself to eat tonight, so it never ends.
Don't call me out like that. My popcorn is right here. I'm just not eating it.
So, Devon right here asked if the titles have a motto.
Have a motto? Not
This
per
is-
se.
This is what it was.
This was Robert Miss Cub. Have a model. You all go.
Oh.
Hmm.
Mine is, go out and be your unique, true, special self, and you will truly shine at whatever that is that you'll do. May not be that kind of crisp, Devon, but it's really about being your unique self and just
Right.
going out there and be a human being and not if you learn from my speech. I learned this from a college graduate in North Carolina. She just did a great graduation speech, and she's like, you need to be a human being and not a human doer. And you look at yourself as your unique self, treat people with kindness and respect, and just go there and like Heifer said, take those risks. Go out. If I could put it in a motto, it's just really being me, being the unique me that I can be when I'm up there on stage or I'm out there in the community.
Yeah.
Talking to people.
Thanks,
Devon. Love you too.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't know Devon is she was NAB Mama Bear.
Mama Bear 2020.
I will tell a quick story that I messed up in my interview for NAB North American Bear, and I didn't know that she was a Mama Bear. So Devon and I have really bonded over the last few years, and we sat at the last contest together, John and I, the last NAB, and we just another great title holder that people should get to know.
I wanted to bring something up. This is off topic, but I'm going to bring it up anyway because I think it's important. We've mentioned a lot of being adaptable tonight, being adaptable in what you do. I just want to share a story because I think it's important. Be adaptable because my formal outfit that I brought for World Bear changed when I saw the vendor market. It literally changed. It was literally a different outfit. Like I have brought one piece with me that stayed, and it was planned for another category. So my interview outfit changed, my formal outfit changed, and because I went to the vendor market and they had a brilliant sale on a beautiful piece that I was like, yes, I want that. So be adaptable to what you present because you may find something when you get there. There may be something that you pivot on a dime, like, oh my God, this is perfect. So be ready for that because it could happen.
During our pop question, during our contest, my introduction did not get read out. There was a tech error. And they couldn't figure out how to fix it. So I just said I would do my own introduction because I don't give a shit. Like I guess what I'm trying to say is know yourself. Know who you are before you get up on that stage. Because if not, you're not going to be able to say, a quick 3-sentence introduction about yourself because that's what people want is the elevator speech. Be able to introduce yourself in 30 seconds or less. Tell them what you're there for. Tell them who you are and give them something that they won't forget. So for me, that was talking about glitter and butt stuff in my last sentence.
Yeah.
One thing that I will say is, go with the flow in all contests. Things will, while they hope everything will go as planned, things don't always go as planned. I mean, there could be tech issues. Even at IML this past year, while I don't think, probably in the background, things didn't go as planned.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, they had to deal with new locations this year there, instead of using the theater that was right across the street from the hotel.
Oh, wow.
And so that's just one, thing to be aware of. Just be ready to go with the flow. I mean, the contest is scheduled for a certain amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
but it could go longer. It could go, so important to just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And so
Go with the flow.
let me reiterate one other thing that we've said before. I mean, this is totally separate, but for those getting ready that are interested in competing this year, make sure you fill out the application by or before June 15th.
Yes.
Also, the QR code in the upper left-hand corner is a direct link to the application, which also has all the requirements.
Ah.
And
Are cue cards okay to use during your speech?
so here is what I will say to that. I'm somebody with a disability. And what I want to say about that is not everyone, some people can get flustered giving their speech. It's best if you can try to do it from memory.
Yes.
That's what most people do. But if you need accommodations, especially something that might be on stage, or you might need some extra support somewhere, contact the contest organizers and DenDaddy before the competition. Say, maybe you could have anxiety based on whatever challenge disability you have. If you need somebody there that can help bring you down, or somebody that can come back at request to help, calm you down before you go on stage, ask if that's okay. Because everyone should have a fair chance, and everyone should be able to shine their best. If you're going to need assistance getting up on the stage, for any reason, let them know ahead of time, because they won't. You should not have to compete from the floor where half the audience can't see you. You should be able to show off what you are doing, rather than dealing with rather than having just let people know about any accommodations you need.
And tagging on to that, let the producers know so that the judges know.
Yep.
Most because
Judges don't have an issue with it. They just want to know ahead
Right.
of time.
if we know, it's okay, because speeches typically are memorized. But I know in 2020, when at North American Bear, when I judged, we had a contestant. This is sad. It was Jack Hinkle. Read his speech from cards. And we were all like, and it came down the line. It was like, there's nothing in the rules that says we can't.
Yeah.
So we judged accordingly. And that's the year Jack won.
Yeah, I personally have no issue with it. I think it's an accessibility thing for everyone. I don't really think you need to have a disability in order to make things more accessible in that way. My only caveat would be just make sure you're not reading from the cards the entire time. Use them as prompts for yourself.
Yes.
Because like I get it, like COVID brain, I don't remember things half the time, but make sure you're engaging the audience. Make sure that you're speaking from your heart, which means that you're not necessarily reading what you wrote down on your cards verbatim, but they're a tool. And seeing someone being able to utilize their tools to shine is a good thing in a title holder, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Also, if you do need to use any accommodations, don't let anyone shame you in any way. I know somebody who was on the IML stage in 2017. He was first runner-up to IML in 2017, but he used a cane on the stage.
Oh.
And there was, from what I've heard from him, there was not everyone like that. The thing is, if you need some sort of assistance to be able to be there, you need to you should not be shamed for it. Everyone needs, their own accommodations at times, and that's important. Also, one important thing to think about, especially where the contest is taking place, everything's going to be in the hotel.
Yeah.
So, two things to think about. After you're done your raffle ticket sales, if you, or even during the day, if you have a chance, find ways just maybe to get away from the hotel for a few minutes where you're not around the judges, you're not around others, and you can just be yourself. You don't have to worry about being on all the time. Also, take time in your room, relax. That's very important. I know when I was when I competed at MAL back in 2020, the Saturday night after Leather Cocktails there, it had been almost a full day of competition. At 9 o'clock, 9:30, after I was done, I got my car. I went somewhere else in DC just to get away from the hotel for a few minutes and to relax. It was not to go get a drink. It was to go get like coffee or something and decompress.
And if you can't, your hotel room is your sanctuary. It is the one place that the judges are not. So let that be a space of healing for you.
I was going to say engage in fuckery, but
Well,
you do
there you go. You do that too.
Cause chaos.
Always.
Yes.
So I see we're coming up on almost an hour and a half. And I just wanted to say, find out if there's other last questions before we try to wrap things up.
Brooks, I'm looking at the Facebook feed. It looks like Brooks asked if the judges have been announced.
Not yet.
They announced who the judges, and I don't believe that they have.
Not
No.
yet.
No.
They
It'll be
they
closer
will
to the
normally
contest.
they'll normally be they'll be announced closer to the contest, usually within 30 days. I
Mhm.
believe the people who are competing will be announced first, and then the
Yes.
judges. For those who don't know, because every contest is a little bit different, World Bear does announce their judges. So other contests may not. So that is something that going into say this contest, you should know who the judges are. I would recommend doing your homework, because you want to be able to interact with them. Again, not every judge, for instance, for raffle sales, not every judge may purchase tickets from everyone, but you should still approach them. You should still engage with them.
Mhm.
That will show effort being taken. We've had instances in the past where there are female judges, and contestants will not go up to them because for whatever reason, if they're uncomfortable or maybe they didn't know. Believe me, and that the judge I'm thinking of, they will ask you about it. Why did you not come up to me?
Mhm.
So you need to make
I've
sure.
been that judge.
I've been that judge. Why did you sell me
So
tickets?
exactly. So whether male or female, but if you are male or male presenting, or even if you're female and you do not go up to a judge, be prepared for for a question about that when you go through your interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
yeah. So you need to make sure that you're on your game. And one thing I do want to mention, because we didn't really touch on it, the interview portion of I will say, we're again talking about World Bear here. You will have about 15 to 20 minutes to answer myriad of questions. It could be from
Anything.
it could be anything. It could be World Bear history. It could be bear history. Maybe it could be pet history. It could be just
Your social media.
social media,
Yes.
exactly, social media, or just like kind
That's
of
huge.
deep questions.
Look at your
because-
social media.
Mhm.
Right.
And be able to
Judges-
answer anything that comes up.
Correct. So if you posted something 3 years ago, a judge may come back to you like, all right, so you posted this 3 years ago.
There you go.
Can you explain this to me? And
Fair
so
game.
so if you are very active on your social media, you need to be able to respond to that.
Fair game.
And maybe your opinion has changed over the 3 years, or maybe not. But
Totally
you need to be
possible.
able to answer those questions, and you need to be able to. The judges want to know who they're going to be. Should you win, who's going to be representing World Bear.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be on your A game.
Yeah. No?
I just saw Slade Travis over the weekend,
Oh dear.
and he tied me up some.
Yay.
But if you know what he runs, I'm just saying.
Yes.
But
Yes.
see,
Okay.
here's the other thing, important. no one is expected to be a saint.
No.
I mean, if you've done any adult work, anything in the past, they're not expecting you to be a saint in any way. Just, if a question comes up, explain it.
But be accountable for it.
And yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I will say is practice interview. And I will say that the 15 to 20
please.
minutes at
Please.
interview, the 15 to 20 minutes that you get for interview is actually very liberal.
Oh yeah.
At IML, you're given like 9-minute or 10 minutes for 9 judges. And so, or
That's
maybe
so hard.
8 minutes for 9 judges. So
hard.
But one thing I will say is practice making your answers concise and to the point.
Yeah.
And
Practice your interview.
Find others that have competed before and practice.
Concise answers. Yes. Because you don't want to judge not to get an answer or a question.
So, do we have other questions before we start wrapping things up? And what I will say, right now is, remember, June 15th, applications are due. The QR code right up here on the left-hand side is a direct link to the application.
That's 2
and-
weeks from Saturday if you are not good with dates.
Yeah, it is.
Right. And World Bear Weekend is August 1st through the 4th in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Even
Very
if you
close.
aren't competing, even if you just wanted to come learn about the contest, learn about the event, share it out, let people know to come out. So, if you're thinking about competing next year, of course, but,
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for everyone that joined us tonight, asked questions. Want to thank everyone here that from the World Bear family that helped answer questions.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course. Yes.
And again, if anyone who is competing has questions, please reach out.
Please reach out.
So that we can try to help you. We're here. We want to make sure that everyone is able to have all their questions answered, but has the support to be able to take this on. And it is it is a big responsibility. So you will be representing an organization. You will be representing a community. People will be looking for you, looking towards you for guidance. Is it a scary thing? Absolutely, it can be.
Oh, yeah.
Many people, I think most of everyone on the call has had a previous title before their world title, and including most of our past winners. One thing that I can say from my experience, I did not have that. I came in while I was active in the bear community for a long time, and I've had former relationships and friends who were title holders. I kind of had jumped from 0 to 100, and it can be a lot. So if you do compete and you do win, again, reach out to your title family. We're here to support you. If you need, depending on your involvement in the community, maybe you need assistance from one of us. If we're able to, maybe some people would be able to travel to assist. You will have your current title family, and you have the previous title families to be able to assist. You will have a support system. So while yes, it's scary, it's exciting. There's different levels of that, and of course, depending on your job and role, and if you choose to disclose this to your employer, because inevitably you may need to take some time off to travel.
Yeah.
You have the family, and with multiple years of different experience and different paths to the same goal.
Yeah. And yeah, reach out to us with all your questions, any concerns, anything that you're wondering about. Reach out to us. There's nothing more than I love to talk about this crap. I love talking about World Bear and my experience and anything I can share. So please reach out. I'm always here to answer questions.
So, if there's no other questions, if it's okay with everyone else, we're going to start to wrap it up.
Sure.
But thank you for coming, and I will say, see you in August.
Yes.
See you in August.
All right.
Yay.
Daddy.